Las Vegas in the mid-1990s, Sin City was a boom town.
The middle collapsed first.
Buildings were coming down and bigger and better ones were going up. The mob's control on businesses all but gone. The city was growing, and away from the Strip, Ron Rudin was also growing his real estate business.
He had great respect by many levels of people. He hung out with mayors and policemen and lawyers and respected business people.
Rudin came to Las Vegas in the 60s from Chicago.
We just had a lot in common, and we just got really close. It was like a brother to me.
John Ruther, also from the Windy City, considered Ron one of his best friends. The pair shared a love of flying planes, but also a desire to cash in on Sin City.
And I trusted him with the real estate. So we had this agreement. You trust me, I trust you. So he was my advisor, like I say, but he had complete trust in me too.
Ron had an appetite for the finer things in life, but also had an appetite for pretty women. After 4 failed marriages, Ron met Margaret Rudin, and she immediately caught his eye.
He was outgoing, vivacious, very sociable, dressed nicely.
The pair met in church and married soon after, but there was trouble.
There was a lot of obsession, there was a lot of distrust, there was a lot of suspicion, there was a lot of jealousy, but they were also very, very close at the same time.
Like Ron did with his 4 previous wives, he moved Margaret into his humble 2-bedroom home near Charleston and Decatur. The home was really more like a fortress. Ron was obsessed with security, walls, cameras, dogs. To Margaret, the home felt more like her marriage, a prison, and she was determined to escape.
The relationship between Ron and Margaret was very passionate and very stormy, almost from the very beginning. So they loved each other passionately, but they had these very, very volatile fights. A fight at one point in which there was gunfire, literally a gun emerged, it went off, nobody got shot, but that's how volatile this relationship was.
Ron always kept Margaret at an arm's length and never revealed really how much money he had. It was a secret that Margaret stopped at nothing to learn.
Margaret was even suspected of wiretapping Ron's phones at his office so that she could hear who he was speaking with, and ultimately she found out that he was having an affair with someone, and she heard it on the wiretap that she illegally created.
Despite learning about the affair, Margaret wanted more, so with the help of Ron's money, she opened up an antique store right next door to Ron's real estate office. The stone's throw away from their home, and it was a curious business venture from anyone on the outside looking in.
Ron had furnished her, he told me, over $100,000 to open that antique store. She didn't know no more about antiques than I do.
Margaret wanted Ron's money, and she knew from her previous 4 marriages that if she gets a divorce, she's not going to get very much of that money. So she stayed with him for a while, but it just got worse and worse and worse. And he was literally sleeping with another woman, and she found out about it.
Then just weeks before Christmas, Ron placed a phone call with his good friend John.
He says, I found a piece of paper in the house. Margaret's diagramming out how she's going to split up all my money, the estate, with her relatives and friends. And he says, I'm really getting nervous. I told him, you better watch your back.
That warning came as Ron changed his will, a move that many saw as a finger point right at his wife if something happened to him.
It got to the point that he started worrying that his life could be in danger, that maybe Margaret might elevate this to the next step. So he changed his will. He put a little rider in his will that said, if I die by violent means, car crash, accident, shooting, investigate the person who stands to inherit my money.
What happened next still haunts people who knew Ron Rudin. Tomorrow, the Black Widow's web of deception leads to a brutal killing. Joe Bartels, 13 Investigates.